Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Hello, I'm Ralph White, and we're Consulting to Win Radio, and we're here to coach you in the game of business. We define business and winning in business as results that you can be accountable for. And we're here to help you in experiencing what it's like to work with business coaches. Grow your business, expand your business, make more profit, increase the value of your business. So we really invite you to listen in and listen for possibilities, ideas that you can use and take action on. And we're going to always have great guests that are here, that are experienced people in business, that have, gone the path, gone down the road. We're here to shorten your learning curve. So we really want to provide you with that opportunity to learn something, use it, apply it, make money from it, and learn from the experience of myself and my co-host, Leanne Farmer. Hello, Leanne. How are you today?
I'm doing very well, Ralph. Thanks.
Good. It's been a busy week, hasn't it?
It certainly has.
So,
but when it's busy, there's always lots of possibilities.
Yes, definitely. So we've got a lot of clients that are, very much in action, and it's always enjoyable to work with busy clients. And there's always, as a coach, you're always helping people deal with the challenges of their businesses, and you move from one to the next, and it's a very challenging, profession and very enjoyable, and I'm thrilled to have that opportunity. Today we have a guest, and our guest is Scott Daniels, and we've worked with him for a number of years. He's the owner of Practice Concepts, and their business is a very successful business in selling practices and working with practices. Scott, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Ralph?
Excellent, excellent. So, Scott, I'd like you to describe what you do, because you have a very unique business and you do a variety of services. Could you tell our listeners a little bit about your business and what it does?
Sure. We're one of the leaders in practice brokerage services, and what that means is we help doctors buy and sell practices, kind of like a real estate broker for businesses, specifically for medical practices. Our core targets are optometry, optical, ophthalmology, veterinarian, general medical, and dental.
Excellent.
We also provide appraisals for doctors, partner buy-in services, and assistance in consulting and growing their practices.
Excellent. So we invited Scott to be on today because we want to talk about driving up the value of your business. And I often coach people that one of the best ways to run your business is as if you're going to sell it. I'm not saying that you're going to sell it, but if you run your business from that standpoint, if your thinking is from that paradigm, you're going to be making decisions that are going to be in the interest of the business, in the interest of making it more valuable, and growing it, making it self-sufficient, making it a business versus a job. So there's a lot of thinking that goes along with that that's extremely useful in the business. And Scott's an expert in that. How long have you been working with selling practices, Scott?
About 10 years now, and part of that I was working with doctors and businesses and financing, which goes back 20 years.
Okay, so you've sold a lot of practices in that time period, haven't you?
Yes.
Been engaged in a lot of deals and a lot of negotiations and a lot of challenges of putting deals together, I know. And when you look at that, one of the questions that I get from a lot of people that I work with is, how do you determine the value of my business? They'll say, what's my business worth? Could you give our listeners a little insight or a little, because that's a very common question. but could you give us some ways to look at that?
Sure. There's really 4 different methodologies in valuing a business. There's an asset approach, which is simply adding up the furnitures and the chairs and the equipment and what is it worth today. There is the cash flow approach, which in simple terms, what's the loan to purchase the business, how much is that going to cost per year, and what's left over is going to be my profit. Can I live on that? That's a pretty typical scenario of any small business, especially ones applying for an SBA loan, because a typical small business, I always like to say, the owner is kind of buying themselves a job, and I don't say that disrespectfully. That's a function of a small business because there's not enough profit to be an absentee owner. For larger businesses with 5, 10, 20 million revenues, they have what's called a capitalization method, which is the best way to describe it is to look at it as a business as an investment vehicle. If you were to purchase a CD, your risk is low, so you'd be okay getting a 2% yield on it. If you were to purchase a stock that's very risky, you might want to get a 30 or 40% yield. Well, the same thing with a business. If you invest money without working, after all the employees are paid, including you as your employee, what's left over is going to be your yield. What do you want to attain out of that? Because of what we do, being mostly professional practices, it's a goodwill portion, so we're focused mostly on cash flow and what's the owner benefit and how much is left over after paying for the debt to purchase the office. So that's probably the biggest driver in valuing practices.
Okay. I want to remind our listeners that if you have a question you'd like to call in, the number is 800-555-5453. That's 800-555-5453. So if while we're talking with Scott you want to take advantage of this opportunity, please do dial in and ask your questions. So Scott, in selling practices, I know that you have a commitment to driving up the value of practices. What are some of the ways that you do that? What do you see as if I'm a doctor and I have a practice, what can I do to, or and what we're talking about doctors here, but what Scott's going to be talking about and I'm talking about, Leanne's talking about, is also applies to any business. But what do you see as some of the things that the doctor can do to drive up the value of his practice?
Well, it's a good question, and it's important to recognize that even if you're not looking to sell now, you should always be in sell mode, because 5, 10 years from now, you create that history. So looking back, we can't change the financials or how they're organized looking backward, but going forward, we can work on things. So probably the first thing is having really good financials, keeping them organized, keeping them updated on a monthly basis. That includes being able to compare month by month from prior year figures so you could see the trends in what you're doing. Keeping a good separation of personal and business expenses. Often small owners will be a little aggressive in expensing certain things and maybe have a cost of goods that appear too high. Well, that's not going to be helpful for a buyer in determining the true profit of the practice. And if that buyer needs to get financing, it's going to make it even more difficult. So good reporting, good financials, keeping them up to date on a monthly basis, tax returns on a timely basis, those are very critical in maintaining the value of the office. Another target should be determine what your exit plan is. Do you want to sell in 5 years, 10 years? Whatever that timeline is, you could always change it in the future, but having that game plan in place is going to help determine, do you invest in that that large tenant improvement project? Do you purchase that very expensive piece of equipment? That timeline is going to determine how much money you invest in the business based on the life expectancy of that upgrade or piece of equipment.
You're actually speaking about something that I always coach people that whenever you're going into something, whenever you're creating an agreement, whenever you're putting together something, you always want to look at how you're going to take it apart. So if you're going into business, you look at how you're going to exit it. In the beginning on any project, you're creating a partnership, you're creating a business, you're excited about it, you're in a great mood, you're in a great space of how am I going to put this together, what's the possibility. That's the time to actually decide, if I decide I don't want to do this, what's my exit plan, like Scott was saying. It's really, how would I take this apart and design that at the beginning, so that you don't have an unhappy ending where, okay, I want out, I want to let it go, or I want to sell it, and then you end up in an argument, or you end up in court with attorneys and having to dissolve it.
And that's just in partnerships. 50% of the businesses in general result in an unplanned sale because of death, disability, divorce. So it's critical to have a plan of action and have that succession plan. So having the systems in place, having really organized financials that are easily discernible by other parties is going to increase the value and retain it, especially in the case of death or disability or an unplanned event. So an unplanned event being 50% of the businesses sell or close based on an unplanned event.
Scott, this is Leanne. I have a question for you. We've talked about some of the things that business owners can do to maintain and drive up the value of their business. Where do you see a lot of people kind of getting in their own way or creating stumbling blocks for themselves in terms of maintaining the value of their business?
Another great question. Probably entrepreneurs are very type A, and I think a lot of them feel they have to do everything themselves. All of a sudden they're working, the bookkeeper, the front desk person, the doctor, they try to do everything. It's impossible. And frankly, they do everything better than everybody else. The problem is you just don't have enough time in the day. So delegating is critical to creating that system. And I think recognizing that people may not do it as well as you can, and it may take them longer to do it, but if you can get rid of 80% of the things that you're doing, I mean, it's okay if somebody takes 3 hours to do it where you would take 30 minutes. It's still something that you don't have to do.
And does that free them up to be generating more income then, if they're not taking that much time to do those administrative tasks?
Oh, absolutely, for two reasons. One is it gives them time to focus on the vision, the big picture. Where's the company want to go? Building, networking, relationships, and I call it kind of the vision of the practice or the business. And second, as an owner, you also have the employee hat. So let's take an example of a doctor owner. Well, if a doctor makes $50 or $100 an hour, they're not using their time to the best if they're doing bookkeeping services, which might be a $10, $20, or $30 an hour position. So maximizing what you're doing and then freeing yourself up to focus on the big picture stuff that only you as the owner can look at is going to absolutely make you more money. And it could be the vision of, wow, this new marketing campaign, or freeing you time instead of doing paying bills and doing bookkeeping, to go to that networking meeting and meet other owners who have some opportunities.
Right.
So I think it opens up some huge opportunities. It may seem in the short term it costs more, but you really make it back tenfold.
Now, a useful way of addressing that is writing out a job description for yourself as an owner. If you do that and then start looking at the things that you're accountable for, the vision of the company, where the company is going, the future of the company, the profitability of the company, inspiring the employees, making sure that they're on track, keeping on those key elements of the company, and then measuring yourself as give yourself a review. How am I doing? I've had clients do that and actually determine that they actually should fire themselves. And I've actually had owners, in a coaching call say, all right, let's fire you, and then go over an interview and rehire you as the owner of the company under the condition that you deliver on your job description. So what else, Scott, do you see are the factors that stop people from increasing the value of their business? In other words, like, what are some of the things that are, that they bump up against, that they just, that they just can't handle, or they just, it's the obstacle that's, as typically they can't get through that?
Burnout comes to mind. You've been doing something so long, and you feel like everything's been done and tried before, and that can easily happen, especially now in this economic environment. So overcoming those obstacles, I think, is and burnout can be obstacles to growing the practice. I think treating the practice kind of like your personal checkbook and not separating the business from the personal is also going to slow down growth. And I think the third is, while it's good to be friends with your employees, you still have to have a separation. It's okay to go out with them afterwards, but you still have to look at the business as profit. You can give the employees whatever you want if the business is making profit, but if it's not making any money, then at some point something's going to give. And I don't want to say some owners are too soft, but some owners are too soft. I think there's a way of doing it where you're responsible to the bottom line, but also creating a very positive environment, for the employees and the staff, so it's enjoyable for everybody.
Right. I think that's probably, we see a lot of times also in the smaller businesses that there's a lot of family involved too.
Yeah, that's and in terms of the family, I would say delegating duties, compartmentalizing it, is even more important, especially when there's family involved, because all of a sudden you get it's confusing for the staff, because one person may tell them do this, the other person may say don't do this, do this, and now they're getting direction from two different people, and that could be very frustrating, and that could reduce productivity and growth for the business.
Right. Go ahead.
Okay. So we're going to take a break here, and if you have any questions, you want to call us in on 800-555-5453. And when we come back from the break, Scott's going to give us the secret on how you can sell your business. We'll be right back.
Do you own your own business? What would happen if your computer system crashed? would you be able to recover in a reasonable amount of time? Left Brain Tech's computer services caters to business owners who want reliable computer systems that work and are backed up in case of emergency. For your entire computer needs, call 888-239-2216 or visit leftbraintechs.com. IT solutions done right with Left Brain Techs. That's 888-239-2216 or leftbraintechs.com.
Bring your company's website's visual presence to a new level with customized, cutting-edge site solutions. LandauDesign.com can maximize the productivity of your website. They'll analyze everything you have and then creatively design a customized plan for your website that includes search engine optimization, online marketing, easy content management, and measurable results. LandauDesign.com can boost your web presence so that you can draw more customers to your site and keep their attention so they stay on your site longer. For more information, call 310-374-0670. That's 310-374-0670 or visit online at LandauDesign.com.
If you're like the 8 out of 10 women that say finding jeans that fit is a problem, well, your problem is solved. Lee Jeans has done extensive research, and they have jeans that fit. There's even an online Lee Fit Finder so you can find the right fit for you. Imagine jeans that instantly slim you with a custom fit and no gap waistband. And guys, kids, Lee has jeans for you too. Click through to Lee's Jeans on the HealthyLife.net advertiser page and get what fits.
Put a little light in your life and keep it shining with Intellectric.net, a full-service lighting design company. If you need a top electrical contracting firm to deal with all facets of electrical, from concept to completion, including repair, call Intellectric.net at 310-838-5486. They can use green technology. They are home automation specialists and they are high-end residential specialists. With prompt and efficient service, Intellectric.net has over 10 trucks, 28 employees, and on-call electricians available to handle your needs. Educated in state-of-the-art techniques and technology for all your electrical needs. Call dependable, innovative Intellectric.net today at 310-838-5486. Keep your light shining. Call 310-838-5486 or visit online at Intellectric.net.
HealthyLife.net for healthy side effects.
Welcome back. This is Ralph White and my co-host Leanne Farmer, and our guest today is Scott Daniels from Practice Concepts. And Scott, I promised them the secrets of how to sell your business. So give us some tips on if I'm ready to sell my business, or I think I'm ready to retire and want to sell my business. What's the first thing I should do?
Great question. There's a lot of things involved, a lot of steps involved in selling your business. It's a process. It's not like going in buying a car and 3 minutes later you got a car or a stereo.
I mean, I can't just put it on Craigslist and sell it this week?
No, it's a little more complicated. First of all, determining the value is where you're going to start. And to determine the value, you need to have financials. So I always recommend getting together the financial information that a buyer's going to need and provide that to someone who can do an appraisal on the practice.
Do you do appraisals?
We do appraisals for medical practices.
Okay, so I should first off, number one, call you for an appraisal.
Exactly. And
okay.
What you'll need on that is 3 years tax returns, current profit and loss statements, and a balance sheet, and then background on the business. What is it doing? Kind of a highlights of the business.
Okay.
So now you have your value, and having realistic expectations on what you're going to get. What's the market for the buyers? Understanding that this is a 6 to 12 month process to sell. Knowing what you're going to do after the sale, and then also taking into account estate planning and tax questions from the sale proceeds. Now, again, bear in mind this is a 6 to 9 month process. So when you first decide to sell the practice of the business, You want to get your financial information together. You want to have a prospectus put together. You want to have an intermediary that's going to help you in negotiations, in the process. You want to have a coach that's going to help you during the process to maintain the revenues of the business, and that's critical in this process. You don't want to start slacking because a buyer is going to see a drop in revenue and get concerned, and that's going to potentially drop the value that a buyer is going to purchase the practice on.
Okay, so first I call Scott to get an appraisal. Then I call Ralph and Leanne to get a business coach to help drive up my profits. Then what do I do?
Well, we start prepping the business for sale. That includes looking at the business. Is there things that we need to tidy up in the office itself? Maybe painting, maybe moving boxes or cleaning it up so it looks more attractive to buyers coming in. Is there things that we need to reorganize in the financials to make them more easily readable by a buyer? Is there reports that we need to put together to show the customers, the revenue, the products that are being sold? Having the lease information and knowing how much longer you're going to be able to stay in the premises. If you own the building, then looking at that and determining should the building be sold with the business, with the practice, or should there be a lease in place? At this point, we're going to start corresponding with and identifying the attorney for the business, the CPA for the business, and looking at estate planning or other issues that may come up. We're also going to look at staffing concerns. After people are going to retire, is there any family members that may or may not be part of the business after the close? And then, of course, look at what the owner's objectives are. What are they going to do after the sale? I mean, that's very critical. It's a very emotional process. Do they want to stay on? Do they just want to leave and retire? Is it a short transition, a long transition? So working with them in developing all those items and having a plan of attack is critical to maximizing that value in the office. And then during this process, increasing profits, maintaining increasing profits, addressing concerns that the seller may have in terms of buying new pieces of equipment, how that would impact the sale price, hiring and firing people, adding staff, renegotiating on the lease if the lease is coming up.
Wow, you make it really sound almost like an African safari.
It could be.
Yeah, I can see that that you really want a guide like yourself. I wouldn't like, okay, my brother-in-law sold his business once. I shouldn't, I could call him and ask him if he could help me. Doesn't sound like a good answer. Sounds like I really want a professional person like yourself who's been down that path, who could be my guide.
Exactly.
You really know the bumps in the road.
Exactly. For example, if your lease is expiring in 6 months or 8 months or 12 months, a new buyer is going to need a lease, especially if they get financing. They're going to need a lease that's the length of the loan. So that could be 10 years. Well, the landlord, if you get an extension on your lease, the landlord may not release you from the liability. So you may be forced making a decision, do I want to go month to month and risk getting kicked out, or do I want a long-term lease and risk having to stay on the lease even after the buyer purchases? So there's a lot of nuances that you have to look at in this whole process.
Okay,
Right.
well,
Scott, you've seen this in all of the businesses that you've worked with and bought and sold, the complexity of these kinds of transactions. And it's obvious that they need to be working with somebody like Practice Concepts in order to do a good job at that. But also, you've experienced the value of business coaching in your own business. How does coaching fit into this aspect of buying and selling a business? What's the value of a business coach to a business owner, an optometrist during this process?
I use Ralph myself. I find tremendous value. He helps get rid of the noise. He helps me with ideas and laser focusing on what my objectives are. And I don't know how many years I've been working with him. I don't know, 4 years, 3-4 years, something like that at least.
Right.
And having that coach who is a step outside of your business to keep you on path is phenomenal.
And I would also venture that they don't want to wait until they're ready to sell the business.
No, I actually think my coaching would be, if you own a practice, you should call Scott now. So given that that's the case, Scott, how could I contact you and do business with you, so I could, create a relationship with you now?
And having an intermediary in this process is extremely helpful. I always say, you go to the dentist or the eye doctor to have your eyes examined. You're not going to go to the auto mechanic. So you go to the expert who's going to help you. And whatever business you're in, you know your business every single day. But you sell your practice or business once in a lifetime. And there are 100 things that can blow up the deal, or the buyer walks away, or doesn't get financing, or the landlord has some issue, or staffing has some issue. So our role is to help create a smooth path for successful sale and transition. And having the experience of sold, literally hundreds and hundreds of practices, I think we're positioned very well to help overcome those unforeseeable obstacles and come to smoother resolutions.
How can our listeners contact you, Scott?
They can contact us toll-free at 877-778-2020. Our local number is 714-545-5110, or by email at scottd@practiceconcepts.com.
Excellent. So, Scott, I really want to thank you for being on the show. It's been very informative, as always, and I really want to invite our listeners to check in with you and utilize your services, because I know you're very committed to supporting everyone that you work with. And I know that, working with you, hiring you to worry about, selling their business is a very valuable source. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a second with upselling to your clients.
Imagine Possibilities Unlimited. Well, they're here, and they want to help your business. Possibilities Unlimited offers the best business consulting and coaching that provides incredible results. Ralph White and his team of experts bring a variety of experience and expertise to your business. Discover how their whole life matrix can positively affect your personal and business life. Focusing on key challenges, they'll devise a customized plan and give you the support you need every step of the way until you achieve your intended results. Call Possibilities Unlimited today at 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538. No business is too big or too small. Possibilities Unlimited can help them all. Call now at 310-372-8538 or visit consulting2win.com. That's consulting2win.com.
Do you own your own business? What would happen if your computer system crashed? Would you be able to recover in a reasonable amount of time? Left Brain Tech's computer services caters to business owners who want reliable computer systems that work and are backed up in case of emergency. For your entire computer needs, call 888-239-2216 or visit leftbraintechs.com. IT solutions done right with Left Brain Techs. That's 888-239-2216 or leftbraintechs.com.
Oh man, it never fails. My suitcase just got ripped apart.
Life is a journey. Make it a pleasant one. Use Samsonite. You know the name. For almost a century, Samsonite Luggage has proved itself to be the worldwide leader in innovative travel solutions. Let it be yours. Visit HealthyLife.net's affiliate Samsonite on our homepage and click to look at the fine luggage from suitcases to golf travel bags. And don't forget, take a look at their travel accessories. Make life a journey, a pleasant one, with Samsonite.
Whether your business is in products or services, one thing you need to be successful is sales. And now, you can take the mystery out of selling and discover how to consistently produce top sales results with Possibilities Unlimited 8-week Sales to Win course. The Sales to Win course can be attended by anyone from anywhere because it's given by conference call. You'll be taught by top sales and marketing experts all about the sales process, and you'll be given top techniques and tips. It's all simply broken down for you and presented in a stress-free environment. But the best thing is, it's so affordable. It's money well spent because you'll make even more money back with your increased sales. Don't wait. Enroll in the Sales to Win course for yourself and your sales staff right now. You won't want to miss this opportunity to raise your bottom line. Call 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538.
HealthyLife.net, the positive radio network.
Welcome back. Ralph White and Leanne Farmer and Consulting to Win Radio. And this portion of our program is about our whole life matrix. And you can check that out on our website at consultingtowin.com and click on the matrix. And that's the part of our coaching model where we talk about our 4 different elements of life: the financial viability, your relationships, your personal awareness, and health and well-being. And all of those elements must be put into time. All of those elements are part of your life. And if you don't get them into your calendar, you're not going to have them. So we coach people to design your life in that 168 hours a week that you have to include anything you want to have. It must fit into that time slot. And today we're working on upselling to current customers. And we're looking at,
Right.
Yes, Leanne, how do you do that?
Oh, it's easy.
Oh.
No, before we get into that, I just want to mention that one of the reasons we talk about sales so often,
Right.
upselling, selling in general, is that if you don't have sales in your business, you really don't have a business.
Right.
And I want to mention our Sales to Win course that's starting next Wednesday, October 21st. There's still time to register on our website at www.consultingtowin.com. You can learn more about the course there, but we felt it was so important to reach out to people and try to teach them how to sell, because there's several different steps to that process, and a lot of people are intimidated by it and need extra help. And one of the things that they need work on is upselling.
Well, actually, when you say they're intimidated by it, what do you see as what stops people from selling?
I think that people are afraid to intrude. I think that's one thing. I think in general, people are nice people, and they feel that they're somehow stepping over a boundary when they call somebody up on the phone and ask them to buy something.
Okay. Well, I actually, don't want you to come from the place that you're intruding. I coach people that you're never going to force somebody to buy something.
Right.
No one's going to buy something they don't need. If they don't need it, don't sell it to them. I don't believe in coercing people or trying to, change their mind. I am coming from a standpoint of selling is helping people. Selling is contributing to people. Selling is identifying people that have a need and supplying that need. Selling is looking for people that have a need for the product or service that you have, and then delivering that product or service. So that's whatever your service is, it's looking at, where is the pool of people that need that service, and then how do I make them aware of that I have it available.
Right. Right.
And if you're standing trying to sell somebody something that they don't want or can't afford, that's very painful for both parties.
Right.
And it's a waste of time.
Yeah, you need to take the time up front.
Right.
To find that target market, do your research on who that is and how you can go about approaching them.
Right. And if you think, I was talking to someone yesterday, and they said, I need to make a list of people that want to buy my product. This person has a lot of selling experience and is starting a new venture and doesn't want to go start selling to their friends and actually wants to sell to people they don't know because it's something new they're doing and their friends don't understand that they're, why they're changing their direction.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're saying, let's come up with a list of people I don't know, which is just the opposite of what most people do. When people,
when they start out, they want that comfort
right.
zone.
Yeah, I think that gets ingrained in us when we're in the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, and then they pass out that little piece of paper and say, go to sell to all your friends, cookies and donuts and candies and what have you.
That's right.
Yeah. So and we think that's the method of selling, but it's not. It's really finding people that need what we've got.
And then we started the segment by talking about upselling.
Right.
And we haven't really, I'm going to circle back around to that because let's say you are successful at selling, you know how to find people that will buy your product.
Mm-hmm.
What is the value of upselling?
Well, in this market in particular, selling a larger ticket item with a larger margin for you, if you find people that have a need for your service, by selling a larger ticket item, you stand a chance of making more money. That's one thing.
Right.
And you don't have to have as many clients in order to make the income you're looking for. And the difference between selling something for $100 or $10, the amount of work that it takes is pretty much the same. So if you're, in the challenge of moving from $100 to $10 to $1,000 is pretty much getting the words out of your mouth and being able to stand there and not choke or flinch or grin or twist or turn when the other person reacts to the price. So it's really being able, it's getting past your thinking. I was talking to someone that's saying that our employees are not able to sell expensive products. We sell a low price product and we sell a high price product. They can sell a low price product, but they can't sell a high priced product. Okay. And I said, well, then they don't see the value in the high priced product, or they are looking from the standpoint of they personally can't afford the high priced product and therefore can't see the ability to sell it.
That's an interesting situation to be in.
Right. And so you've really got to let go of your own personal thinking. You've got to approach a sale, anything that you have, any of your personal thoughts of, I can't afford this, or I wouldn't buy this. You've got to believe in the product. You definitely, for me, I would not sell anything that I didn't believe in. If I didn't believe the product had value and that would deliver the services that it said, I would not sell it.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely number one. But number two is that you have to be able to ask for the value and then stand there and deliver. When the client says, whoa, that's a lot of money, you can't have a reaction to that. You've got to say, yes, and it's really worth it. You should see all of the value connected with it because it does this and this and this. And if you can be with that, you can have the higher value. You can create yourself in making higher sales.
What about, in addition to selling higher priced items, selling more items, accessorizing with your product? The old, do you want fries with that?
Right. That's another way of creating a larger upsell, creating more value for the customer.
And I think a lot of companies I go into, even just retail, sometimes they're very good at that. And sometimes they don't go after that at all.
Yeah, it's making that extra effort to satisfying and identifying the concerns of the customer and then fulfilling those concerns. So we're going to be back in just a minute. And when we come back, Leanne and I are going to talk about the difference between coaching and consulting. So we'll be right back.
There are 3 wise women at Possibilities Unlimited, and if you want to improve your business's bottom line, you'll want to get to know them because they want to help you with your business, and they can. Wise web woman Bonnie Landau will help make your website the best it can be. She'll help you with all web-related things, including social media. Wise marketing woman Mary Mullinoff wields her magic to find and obtain sales leads for you, and she'll help you identify and qualify prospects. Leanne Farmer, wise work life woman, hones your customer relations, communications, and sales skills as she teaches you how to manage your work and life in balance. There are options of coaching with one or all 3 wise women. Get to know them now. Call 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538, or visit consulting2win.com. That's consulting2win.com.
What does HealthyLife.net and Amazon.com have in common? Well, they're both available on the internet. They both give great value. But most important, most of our positive program hosts and guests are accomplished authors, and their books are available from, you got it, Amazon.com. Now, it even gets better than that, because when you're listening on air to a HealthyLife.net host or guest, you can go directly to Amazon.com and you can order your book while you're still listening to your favorite HealthyLife.net program. So when you hear an author you like, go to the homepage of HealthyLife.net and click on Amazon.com.
Demystify the world of social marketing and get it to work for you. You can maximize your market potential in sales, and Bonnie Landau of Possibilities Unlimited can help. Discover how to use Twitter, LinkedIn, and more to market your business. Learn how to expand your prospect base, improve your web presence, but more importantly, get results. Your possibilities are unlimited. Social networking can impact your bottom line in a positive way. Find out how with Bonnie Landau of Possibilities Unlimited. Call today at 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538, or visit consulting2win.com, consulting2win.com.
Do you own your own business? What would happen if your computer system crashed? Would you be able to recover in a reasonable amount of time? Left Brain Tech's computer services caters to business owners who want reliable computer systems that work and are backed up in case of emergency. For your entire computer needs, call 888-239-2216 or visit leftbraintechs.com. IT solutions done right with Left Brain Techs. That's 888-239-2216 or leftbraintechs.com.
All positive talk with a mature edge. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. Ralph White, Leanne Farmer with Consulting to Win Radio. And we want to be talking in this segment about coaching and consulting. So Leanne, tell me, what is the difference between coaching and consulting?
Well, a consultant is someone who typically has an expertise in a specific area.
Okay.
A consultant is somebody that you hire to come in and solve a kind of a specific problem. And the consultant or his group, they come in, they stay for a day, a week, a month, whatever it is. They do the actual work to solve the problem.
Okay.
And then they will typically write up a report, involve you perhaps in some decision making about how you want the problem solved, but they do the work, give you a report, send you their bill, and then they're on their way.
Okay.
There may or may not be a continuation of the relationship throughout time based on, coming in and tweaking things over time, but a consultant usually does the work. A business coach, on the other hand, is there to support you in creating the results yourself.
Okay.
A business coach, for instance, with the optometrists that Scott works with,
Mm-hmm.
we are not optometrists.
Right.
We do not perform eye exams. We do not know how to size glasses frames and all those things, but we speak the language of business. We're not going to go in and tell you how to do your business, how to be an optometrist, but we're going to teach you the language of business so that you can make your business profitable. And we're going to support you on a regular basis. We like to talk to people every week. We feel that that's the best way to keep people on the path of creating results in their business.
Okay. So you've got them on the path and sort of like on the freeway between the lines.
Right.
And they can't get too far off the freeway and get too lost in a week.
Right, because I think that is what we see is that business owners tend to, it's tough to run a business. There's a lot of things coming at you at all times, and it's very easy to get distracted and take that exit. I like to think of us as the little GPS that says recalculating, turn back around, and we were heading south, so you need to keep heading south on the freeway. And with the continuous, consistent support, we provide ideas, we help you come up with your own ideas, and we provide the accountability, I think. We give them ways to stay accountable to their intentions so that they can move down the freeway towards the results that they want.
Yeah. I find it interesting where people actually forget what they said they wanted. The circumstances...
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. It becomes so... The circumstances become so heavy and so, daunting that they forget. I started out this year and said I was going to double my sales and increase my income. And by the middle of the year, it's like, if I could just make as much as I made last year and make it through the year.
It's tough to get out of the details because the details are what's happening right now. Something broke. Somebody didn't show up. Some big bill came in the mail that we got to figure out how we're going to pay by next week. And it's very easy to get bogged down in that. What your coach is going to do is going to help you kind of rise above the situation and look at it from on high and be able to keep focused and look at how all of those little things are going to keep you pointing towards your intention. And you do need to solve problems and you do need to fix things that are broken, but we can teach you how to delegate those things to other people and how they play into your overall intention without losing sight of the intention.
The other thing that I think that a coach provides is that they acknowledge you for the results that you produce.
Right, because all too often business owners forget to do that.
Right.
I was talking to somebody last week who needs to increase her number of clients coming in the door by the end of this year. We talked about putting a number together, how many clients she wants to have. And so I told her, I said, you need to post that in the break room, wherever you do, just like the little contribution signs where you see the thermometer going up. And when you hit that goal, you need to celebrate it because everybody was a part of it. Everybody shared the intention with you in your staff, and you really need to celebrate that. And we encourage people to do that all the time.
Yeah, because generally speaking, your employees don't walk up to you as the owner of the business and say, you're doing a really good job. The vendors don't come up to you and say, you're doing a really good job. So it's an owner's job rarely gets acknowledged. So it's really, creating with a coach, you get to look at what are your wins, what's your plan, staying on track.
Right. Because if they're not aware of those wins, if we don't remind them that they are winning, it's tougher to keep them moving forward.
Yeah. If it seems like the human mind is more geared to what I'm doing wrong. The memory seems to come up. If you ask somebody, what are the 10 things you did wrong last week? People seem to be able to, pull them off the top of their head. But if they ask you, where did you win or what results you produced last week, they can't seem to remember them. So it's like, like if you go into the bookstore, if you find, look for the book section that says, where people are winning and doing things right. You won't find that section in the bookstore. But if you're looking for how to fix this and what we're doing wrong, there's rows and rows of books on that subject.
Right. It's a funny thing about the human mind, but it's very true. And it's something that we consistently work with people to try to get them past that.
Yeah. So as coaches, we're really there to support you. We will consult you on your business. Consulting is working on your business. Coaching is working on your performance, as an individual, improving that. So it's designed to.
As we always say, your business is a reflection of you.
Right. So it's designed to drive that up. So we're going to take a break here, and we'll be back in just a minute, and with.
Bring your company's website's visual presence to a new level with customized, cutting-edge site solutions. LandauDesign.com can maximize the productivity of your website. They'll analyze everything you have and then creatively design a customized plan for your website that includes search engine optimization, online marketing, easy content management, and measurable results. LandauDesign.com can boost your web presence so that you can draw more customers to your site and keep their attention so they stay on your site longer. For more information, call 310-374-0670. That's 310-374-0670 or visit online at LandauDesign.com. Whether your business is in products or services, one thing you need to be successful is sales. And now you can take the mystery out of selling and discover how to consistently produce top sales results with Possibilities Unlimited 8-week Sales to Win course. The Sales to Win course can be attended by anyone from anywhere because it's given by conference call. You'll be taught by top sales and marketing experts all about the sales process, and you'll be given top techniques and tips. It's all simply broken down for you and presented in a stress-free environment. But the best thing is, it's so affordable. It's money well spent because you'll make even more money back with your increased sales. Don't wait. Enroll in the Sales to Win course for yourself and your sales staff right now. You won't want to miss this opportunity to raise your bottom line. Call 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538.
Uplifting Talk. HealthyLife.net.
Well, Leanne, I think it's been an excellent show today. I very much enjoyed Scott. How about yourself?
Oh, yeah. I always like talking to Scott. He gives a lot of good insight.
We want to thank you for joining us today and listening in. We really want to invite you back constantly to listening to the guests that we bring in, our clients and the other guests, to support you in growing your business, to experience coaching in the area of business and winning in your business. To check out our website at consultingtowin.com and our blog, which you can check out on that site.
That's right. And we also want to remind you that the Sales to Win course starts next Wednesday, October 21st. That's Sales to Win. You can see that at our website at consultingtowin.com.
Okay. And our play of the week is to create the opportunity for you being coached. In other words, look into coaching and see where there's an opportunity for you to be coached. And if you'd like to contact us about that, send me an email at ralph@consultingtowin.com. So at Consulting to Win, our purpose is to coach you in the business life to be a winner. The question is, are you ready to win? If you are, contact us and we'll support you in making that happen. You're ready to win. Have a great week.